Hello friends, we are going to talk about 5 things that I wish I knew going into competitive shooting. Before we get started, this is Lucy. She came with my new apartment. She kind of came up on the patio and didn't leave, and oh, now you want to leave. Okay, there you go, you can go. She's kind of the best cat to have because I am very much a dog person. Never thought I would own a cat, but she really does act like a dog, so I guess this is the best thing, but she's awesome. Hi, honey. Anyways, back to it. 5 things I wish I knew going into competitive shooting. The first one is going to be that your gun and your gear may change a lot. Now, before I go any further on that specific topic, changing your gun and or gear will not make you a better shooter. I do not want you guys to take this and go, oh, I'm not shooting well, let me just go change out all my stuff. That is not at all what I'm saying. But having trust in your gun and or gear and knowing that it fits you and that it is what works best for you may give you more confidence, and that in turn can make you perform better. For example, when I first started competitive shooting, I was using one of my dad's guns, and I didn't know that it wasn't working for me. I didn't realize that, the grip might have been a little bit too big for my hands, that the trigger was not a trigger that I liked. I didn't know what I didn't know at the time. And as a beginner, that was totally fine. After shooting a little bit, I had some awesome people let me shoot their guns. And it wasn't that the guns that I shot made me better, but they fit me better. And because they fit me better, because I loved the grip, because I liked the way the trigger felt, because I liked the way the recoil felt, it made me perform better. And so when I say you might be changing your guns and your gear, that's kind of more of what I mean, is that you might find things that you like better, that you trust better, and that's going to make you more confident, and that confidence is going to make you perform a little bit better. So do not be surprised if you go out and you're shooting and then you're changing gear, and then next thing you know, you're like, I don't like this one as much. I want to get a different holster or a different set of mag pouches, or maybe I wanted to get a different gun or a different optic. All of that is totally fine. Don't expect it to make you better, but expect different gear that you are comfortable with to give you confidence and help you perform a little bit better. Number 2, your training and your progress can and will look very different from the training and progress of other people around you. I know that I got really frustrated and still get frustrated because there are some people you see that just have a knack for shooting, or they were taught the proper way shooting, so when they come to their first match, yeah, they might not be the best competitor, they might not know the game of USPSA, but they are shooting well, and so that helps them progress a little bit faster. I was frustrated because I knew how to shoot guns growing up, but I never learned the correct way. It was more, we're just at a range and you're gonna go have fun. So I built a lot of bad habits unknowingly. And then when I started competitive shooting, I guess three years ago now, I had to take about that first year and a half to completely undo all the bad habits that I had built up and relearn how to shoot while learning this new sport. So my progress looked way different than other people's that I was seeing, but I was reading so much into theirs, it was affecting my progress. Another thing that can affect your training is your time, your job, what you do with your life outside of shooting. Now, there are some people that live, eat, and breathe shooting like it is their job. That is what they do. They have all the time in the world to go shoot. They might have money and energy to go shoot all the time and become better, and that is great for them. Others might have 9-to-5 jobs. You might be in school. I have a couple different jobs, and I'm in grad school, and I'm trying to excel within competitive shooting, but because I just simply don't have the time, the money, the resources to go shoot as much as someone else who might make a little bit more or be more set in life or might have it as their job to go shoot competitively, my path is going to look a little bit different than that. When people say shoot your own match, they really mean shoot your own match. I, at the end of the day, know that I am doing everything I can, that I am giving my 100% effort with the time and energy I am allotted, and someone else's time and energy may be way more than what I have, and that is totally fine. So don't read into what other people are doing. Now, if you're not progressing because you're not doing anything, then that's one thing. But if you know that you are giving everything that you have, even if it's just a little bit because that's all you actually have to give, then that's okay. And you, at the end of the day, know what your progress should look like, and you know the effort that you are putting in. Number 3, there is unfortunately a little bit of toxicity within the sport. And you're gonna get that with anything in life, whatever job you have, other types of sports, schools, you're always gonna have that person or those people. You're gonna have the people that judge your gear. They're gonna have the people that put you down. You're gonna have the people that say you should be doing this instead of that. There's always gonna be that wherever you go in life. And I guess part of me wished that this sport didn't have it, but it's human nature. There's always gonna be those people. So I think I wish that I had given myself that expectation going into it so that way I could have learned earlier to not care about those type of people. I can say that I have in the past let it affect me and my shooting and my training, and that was the time where I found I wasn't loving the sport because I was so focused on these other people. I was so focused on letting them dictate my attitude and my performance that I wasn't shooting for the right reason. I wasn't shooting out of love for it. I wish that I had come in knowing that that was going to be there and accepted it a little bit earlier on, so that way I could show up to matches and be like, yeah, we're going to have those type of people there. That's normal. I'm not going to let it affect the way I shoot today. I'm not going to let it affect my ability to have fun today. Come in with that expectation of someone's going to judge you. Someone's going to say something that is intended to hurt your feelings. Someone's just going to be immature. You're just going to have those people wherever you go. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you're able to move on and say, you know what, screw that. They can do what they want, but I'm going to go shoot this. I'm going to go do whatever it is because I want to do it and because I love it and because it makes me happy. So going in with that expectation and accepting it, but not letting it trample you down is going to help you a ton. Number 4, it is okay to not live, eat, and breathe shooting. I remember when I started shooting, I was in undergrad at the time, and I was also working a couple different jobs, and it felt like everyone around me, this was all they did. It was like all they did was shooting, and social media doesn't help with that because that's all we see. Someone could have a regular 9-to-5 and shoot all the time, but all we're going to see is their shooting stuff that they post, and so that leads us to believe that that's all they're doing. So in undergrad, because in undergrad you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, I got a job within the firearms industry, worked my way up, trained to become an instructor and everything, and I became burnt out. It really affected my performance, and so I left my instructing job, and it was kind of tough because I felt this guilt of I'm a competitive shooter. I should love this. I should want to be here all the time. The minute I allowed myself to enjoy the other things in life that I do, the minute I allowed myself to enjoy going to classes, enjoy having a job that wasn't within the firearms industry, enjoy doing other hobbies besides shooting, my performance within USPSA immediately shot up. You do need a certain level of dedication, but I don't think dedication means that you have to work yourself down to a point where you fall out of love with the sport. I think we are all individuals and we all have our own ways that we commit and dedicate. And for me, the time I have set up to train, I take full advantage of that. I am present 100% when I am training. But then the other parts of my life, I am present within those parts. I'm not going to let my performance from a match that maybe I didn't do as well at affect me in my grad classes. I'm not going to let it affect my work. I'm going to separate them, and finding that separation and knowing it's okay to not do this and think this and eat this and breathe this all the time allowed me to appreciate it that much more. Same thing when it comes to training. A lot of people that might have the time, energy, and resources to go shoot all the time, that's great for them. I don't have the time, energy, and resources, and for a little bit I felt guilty about not having the time, energy, and resources. I couldn't afford to shoot all the time. I couldn't afford to go do live fire every single day. I didn't always have the time to do dry fire right when I got home after work and school, and I felt guilty. I thought that was wrong and that I should want to come home and dry fire. Now, if you're coming home every single night and you're like, oh, I don't want to dry fire, I don't want to train, that you might need to reconsider that a little bit. Everything is going to take a certain level of sacrifice and commitment, but I think that there's a balance between making the sacrifice we have to make to reach the level of competitiveness we want to reach and living your own life and having fun and not burning yourself out. Because if you're burnt out, you're not going to perform well, you're not going to want to do anything within the sport, and you're going to fall out of love with it. And that did happen to me. And when I recognized that and kind of took a step back and redid the way I approached life and this sport, I fell right back in love with it, and my performance started looking way better than what it was. So just know it is okay to not live, eat, and breathe shooting. Number 5, and this one, in my opinion, is the most important one. You are allowed to smile, and you are allowed to be yourself at a match or in the community. I was a competitive athlete growing up. I signed to play sports in college at a D1 school before some medical stuff happened, and that athletic attitude carried over when I started competitive shooting. And at that age, because you're focusing so hard on accomplishing getting into college, getting a scholarship, all those little things that go with it, I feel like when we're in sports, we hone in on it and we think that we can't have fun and can't smile and that we have to be serious the whole time. And looking back in high school, I kind of wish I had loosened myself up a little bit and known that it was okay to have fun and smile and be bubbly or go out and say hi to people at the sporting events. Because when I got to competitive shooting, my first year, I thought that was how I had to be. I thought I had to be serious and that I couldn't go out and meet new people and be happy. I thought I had to be the serious shooter. I started having so much more fun at matches and started performing way better when I let my personality come through at matches. I discovered that I shoot better when I am frankly out talking to people, which is weird because I'm not an extrovert by any means, but I wasn't pretending to be someone I wasn't. I was allowing myself to be myself at matches. I was allowing myself to smile and have fun. And when it was go time, I would flip the switch and know that it was go time. I'd go stand by myself for a few minutes, get my breathing right, get my mentality right, go shoot my stage, take a minute or two after the stage to kind of decompress, think about what I just did, and then I go back to being open and I guess bubbly, for lack of a better term, and smiley, going around talking to people. I have found that that is what works best for me, and it really helped me because I was allowing myself to be myself. Now, other people, that just might be their personality where they kind of need that level-headedness the entire match. They need to kind of be by themselves in order to focus, and that is also okay, but it shouldn't be to the point where you're almost faking it. It should be what works for you. And then you have the other end of the spectrum where someone doesn't need any seriousness. They don't need to kind of take a moment for themselves to dial in and flip a switch. They shoot best when they are just out there being goofy, and that is great for them too, as long as it doesn't interfere with the way other people are. And that's something really hard to figure out, what's the right amount of having fun and being serious and being able to shoot your match without, putting others down or unintentionally hurting the feelings of others. That's something that's really tough. But I did find for me, finding that happy medium of being happy, outgoing, and then right before my stage, kind of locking in, shooting my stage, decompressing, and then going back to being out and open, basically, that worked really, really well for me. So if you're the type of person that you think you have to be serious the whole time, just know it's okay to be yourself and it's okay to smile. And there might be people that judge you. Screw it. You go to the match, you have fun, you know why you're there, and you be your beautiful, awesome, badass self. That is all I've got for you guys today. Today was more of a things I wish I knew from a mentality standpoint going in. If I were to look back and reflect on everything, those are kind of the things I wish I had known going into it. And I wouldn't say they would have saved me a lot of trouble knowing that, but it would have saved a lot of overthinking, because I am a chronic overthinker, as my friends put it. Clinically stressed is how other people have put it. It would have saved me a little bit, and part of me wishes I had known it, but the other part of me is really glad that I didn't know that going in, because now I can share all of that advice with you. And if you're someone like me who is a very type A personality, you want to succeed at everything, you are always going, you don't allow yourself to have breaks, this video is mainly for you guys out there to show you that this is coming from someone just like that, and that, it's okay to be that way, and that you can still accomplish everything you want to accomplish while allowing yourself to be yourself and smile and have fun. Anyways, hopefully this video helps you guys out. Even if you are someone that has been shooting for a while, competitively shooting, I hope that this video helps you too, because making this made me really reflect on the things that I wish I had known, and it's going to force me to actually think about them as I continue within my shooting journey. So that's all I've got. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next week.